That's the farm I grew up on. What is up, dudes? Welcome back to another vlog. Today, got my cousin Savannah with me. Hello. Today's a very special episode. Well, special for me at least. I'm not sure if any of you guys are gonna care. But today I get to show you guys my humble beginnings. Because contrary to what a lot of people had said, I'm not a trust fund baby. Trust me, I wish I was a trust fund baby. Life would be so much easier if I was. But unfortunately, I had to work for everything I have. Not that whatever I have is much, but whatever it is that I do have was attained and acquired from a lot of hard work. So let's go show you guys where life for little Mondi began. By the way, the head unit stopped working again, so we've got this speaker with us. I guess we could add the head unit to the list of casualties throughout this European trip that this car has had. And no, this is not a sponsored ad for a speaker. This isn't one of those channels. Gotcha. Okay. Anyway. Alright, well, at least my cousin thinks that's funny. I'm not sure if you guys will think that's funny. So my dad moved here to Sweden when he was 23. He had just gotten married to my mom. They moved here to Sweden. So we're going to show you guys what my dad's first job over here was. Working for Savannah's dad, actually. Savannah's dad had a pizzeria. That's where my dad started working. He learned the pizza business, the restaurant business. And he opened up a bunch of restaurants over here. So we're going to show you guys where he first started working, his first business, second, third, and all that stuff. And finally, where I learned to drive a car for the very first time in his restaurant parking lot, where I actually drove into his restaurant. So we're gonna go over there and we're gonna do some donuts in the parking lot. It's part of the reason why I came here. It's not part of the reason why I came here, but it's definitely the highlight of this trip for me personally, to take this car, my beloved Murcielago, to the place where I learned to drive a car 20 something years ago. So and I'll just show you guys the farm I grew up in. Yeah, believe it or not, I grew up on a farm. Mondi, the farm boy. So maybe I'm a little biased, but this to me is the most beautiful country in the world. I know Greece and Croatia are, they're beautiful in their own way, but to me this is home and this is what's beautiful to me. So enough of my face, enjoy this road. This right here is Uppsala Centrum, city center of Uppsala. Back there is it's probably the oldest movie theater over here. And I watched The Lion King the original Lion King back when it came out. It was like 1994 or something. I watched it with my mom. And the main song of that movie is Circle of Life. My dad used to live in Sweden at my age, and I was a little boy. And now I'm, where my dad grew up. But now at his age, if that isn't the circle of life, I don't know what is. Very, very sentimental to me, and it means a lot. Look how beautiful this is. Alright, so typical Swedish summer day, it started raining, but this right here is Palermo. Still named the same, which is very cool. So it had an outdoor bar over here, and Uppsala University is right around the corner. All the young kids, college students would come drink over here. So this is where my dad first worked. And right across the street, you see that green sign over there? He opened up a cafe shop over there. I'm gonna stay on this side because it's raining. I got this covering me. Oh, and the retracting the tarp. Amazing, thank you so much. Oh yeah, but that right there, my dad used to have let me zoom in over there. That used to be a cafe shop 20 years ago. It's now a shoe store. Okay, so let's go to the old house I grew up in, and hopefully by then we'll have more of those clear skies. See you guys there. Savannah, you want to have a little fun in the rain over here?
No.
No?
Okay, yes.
Come on. Traction off. Here you go, record.
The police station is right in front of you.
Yeah, I know. We'll blame it on the rain. So that building right there, this one, is where I learned to play my first instrument, which was the organ. It was a little church bar. That's not what an organ sounds like, but you know what I mean. All right, guys, so we're about to pull into my old neighborhood. One of my best friends lived over here in this building, Connie Andersson. And my other best friend over here was Robin Lundqvist. By the way, if any of you guys know Connie or Robin, really doubt it. But if anyone does, please have them reach out to me. That'd be very interesting. And if anyone remembers me from Sweden, or like if you lived in this neighborhood back in '96, slide in my DMs. I'd love to reunite with you guys. Really doubt it, but just in case. All right, so that right there was my dad's garage. That's crazy to think how many times my dad parked his car over here. Circle of life. Okay, so funny story. Oh, you see, I was like a little boy. I was this big. You guys see this little bump right here? We used to play here, by the way. We used to play soccer here. That little bump, to me back in the days, that was like a huge hill I had to climb. Now that you look at it, it's just a bump on the road. This house, well, now there is like a chicken's coop, but this is really weird. I don't know why they have this fence. But this house, this is where I grew up. This right here, and the scar I have is because I fell over here on a skateboard. I remember the guy who lived across over there, his name was Ali. Oh man, talk about nostalgia. Yeah, that's the little thing. I used to have my bicycles, my BMX. I had a red BMX. I always loved red. Now I have a red car. I used to have a red bicycle. Best plums in the world. And back there, that little forest, I'll show you guys. This is my route to school every morning. Elementary school, I'd go over there. I used to pick apples and pears. I'll show you guys those. Oh, there's this one tree over there that was my favorite because the apples were so sour. So this right here, no more tree. Well, we used to have hallon, raspberry and blueberry and blackberry bushes, but yeah, no longer. But whatever. Yeah, this tiny little thing is where I grew up in. Now my bathroom is bigger than funny. So this place over here, we used to play as kids. And then shout out to my sister. This story is from my sister. Some kids threw rocks at my sister when we were walking over here. And like bigger kids were throwing rocks at us, and then protected my sister. And until this day, she brings up that story of how I protected her. Savannah, keep up. So this is walking into that famous forest, my favorite forest, because it has the best fruit trees. My elementary school, my sister's kindergarten, is about 1 kilometer away from here. So during summertime, we'd walk or take our bikes there. And then during wintertime, I tie a string of rope to my bike. And on the other end, I tie it to a little like bobsled, tiny little sled, plastic sled. Put my sister on it and I take her to school that way when it snowed. That was cool. Yes, these are my favorite trees. My favorite tree is that one over there. Very, very sour. These are the apple trees and pear trees that I used to pick my fruits from. This was my morning breakfast. Look at these. Just as good stuff.
This one.
That was so sour. My whole trip was worth it for this moment. I don't know if you guys understand how much this moment means to me. I'm so happy. My cousin's not the tallest. This is my backyard, basically. Yeah, maybe I just grew up in the right generation where we weren't stuck behind TV screens playing video games and iPads and iPhones and all that stuff. Come out here and play. I'm assuming because it's raining, that's why there aren't any kids out. Or maybe all the kids are playing Fortnite now. Maybe that's what they're doing now. But I remember back in the days, it snows like 6 months out of the year over here. So during winter, when it snowed, we'd play hockey in these fields. And during summertime, we'd play soccer. We were always out having a good time with the friends. Okay, let's go do some donuts at my dad's big restaurant, the final restaurant that he had. Over here is where we used to play soccer. I'll show you guys the soccer fields over here. The team I was in was Goose Poika 86. On these fields is where I learned to play soccer. So I have a soccer tattoo on me to remind myself. Actually, he won the Old Boy Cup back in the days. Had a really, really good team. I was midfield. Connie was a forward, and I remember I scored a goal one day. It was right in the top left corner, and he was so amazed. He's like, "Oh, how'd you do that?" And the entire game, he had like 10 shots, and he was going for the top left corner. He never got it, and he would always miss. I was like, "Connie, you could have just made it, like you had 10 shots, you could have just picked the other side." He goes, "Yeah, but I wanted a nice goal like you." If it's not a nice goal like yours, I don't want it. That was That was a cool memory. The small things you always remember. So this is Gamla Uppsala, and Gamla Uppsala means Old Uppsala. This is actually where Vikings used to live. It's really, really cool. There are like some small hills over here. The reason they're hills is because they're grave sites. And the reason they're grave sites is because when the main Viking died, they would kill off everyone that was on his ship. They would like bury the ship over there, kill his kids, his wife. It's pretty brutal when you think about it. Vill du sitta I bilen? You come. Come sit in the car. This is size I was. Cool, huh? It's really cool. Okay, so these are the grave sites of old famous Vikings. So back in the day, so about 1,000, I don't know. Let's just assume it was 1,000 years ago. This place over here was submerged in water. So the water levels were this high. Sala is Nibi, this place, is where all the old Vikings used to live. So like little villages and farmland and all that stuff over here. Ports, because this was full of water. Those hills are all the burial sites of all the Vikings. How crazy is that? Look at that. Every single one of those bumps or hills, whatever it is, are burial sites. We have...
It's around 3,000 graves.
3,000 graves.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so this story is for my mom. This railroad crossing right there that we passed a little while ago. So my mom back in the days used to have a white Mazda 323. It was a really, really crappy car. It had a sunroof and we used to think the car was convertible. On the railroad crossing, my mom's car stalled out one day. I'm not sure if you still watch my videos, Mom, but I do remember that time when the car stalled out and we had to get help from other people to push the car out of the railroad crossing before the train came and smashed it. But this road is the road to my dad's old restaurant. It's not too far. It's about a 5 to 10 minute drive from here. You guys are gonna see some really cool driving roads. I think this is where I got my need for speed from, because my dad would drive really fast over here. There aren't any houses, some twisty roads, and he would drive really fast on the way to work. And I'd be in the passenger seat with him, shifting gears. I think that's where my love for cars began. Back in the days, this was a pretty long, twisty road. Now it's very, very short. All wheat. It's not dry grass, it's wheat. And these are all farms. That's the farm I grew up on, and that's my dad's old restaurant. So that first cafe that I showed you guys, the place was called Sorrento. This one over here was called Palm Springs.
Hey, band.
I'm trying to talk. So this one was called Palm Springs. Those of us who live in America and have been to Palm Springs, we know it's just a desert. But for us Swedes, you know, we think Palm Springs is something glamorous, sun, a bunch of palm trees, and ocean. No, Palm Springs is just a desert. So sorry, Dad, you got that one wrong. And this is where I drove a car for the very first time. This is all new, this fencing. My dad used to park his car right here, and that door is the entrance, like the back door entrance to the restaurant. So the first time I drove a car, I had an accident. You know, the car was not green, so it has nothing to do with the color green. So my dad let me drive his car. His car was parked right here. And he's standing at that door and he tells me this. So hold this. So my dad tells me, to drive a car, all you gotta do is clutch down, put it into gear, and this is what you have to do, okay? Not, you know, feather the throttle and then, you know, come off the clutch. No, it was literally this. So I did exactly that. He didn't tell me what gear I have to put it in. So I put it into first, and I did that. I went straight into that wall. I put a hole in that wall. But for like a year, definitely tell where I had gone into the wall because part of that wall was like freshly painted. And then afterwards, he let me drive my mom's car, not his car anymore. Back there behind that building, I had built a ramp over here, and I used to jump my BMX. I used to play soccer here. I remember there was a big truck over here, had a soccer ball. Had a soccer ball, I was crying, and a truck drove over the soccer ball and flattened it out. I started crying. I walked all the way there, like 10 kilometers. I was gone for like 4 hours. I came back, and my dad's like, "Where were you?" It's like, "Dad, my soccer ball is gone." So you can tell that my eyes were red because I've been crying so much. She's like, "Stupid son, go buy you another soccer ball. You don't have to cry." You know, small little things when we're kids mean a lot to us, and that, you know, my soccer ball meant a lot to me. It could not be replaced. This right here. Now, when I say I grew up on a farm, the reason I said I grew up on a farm is because every time we would come here, which was like after school every single day, as you guys saw, it's only a 5-minute drive. But weekends I was here with my dad all the time, and then after school we would come here, my sister and I, and there were horses here. And the girl that used to live there, she was 1 year older than me. Her name too was Rebecca. And we became like really close friends. So we would always go hang out, play with the horses, play with the cows, play in those fields. And I saw a bunch of chickens get beheaded, which to me now is like traumatizing, but back then that was the norm. This was just an open parking lot back then. So I started doing circles, not donuts, but circles over here. So yeah, over here is our little Mondi in these dirt roads. Maybe that's why I love rallying so much. But this is where I learned to drive a car for the very first time. Now, I'm not gonna do the donuts over here because it's a bunch of dirt and rocks, and well, we don't want any of that on the car. So we'll do it over there where it's paved. So should we go check out the farm too, see if Max is still here? Yeah. Max would bring fresh meat to my dad's restaurant. Anything that had beef in it was from one of these cows. So right here to this left corner is where they milk the cows. This place used to be filled with cows. I mean, there were like 100 cows over here. Now it seems like they only have about 10 cows. They used to have horses back then because Rebecca used to ride horses. A lot has changed. This was their house back here. We used to play here. I used to come mow this lawn over here because he had a lawnmower that you get to drive. It was like a John Deere, not a pushing one, and I used to love that. I'd come mow his lawn every single day just to be able to drive. That's the house. This is where we play. A lot of good memories there. A shit ton of memories. This back here, we used to take our bikes and you could go for like 5 miles, 5-6 miles this back road. We used to go really, really fast. It's gravel, so we used to slide the bikes around. It was really fun. Just drifting since I was 8, 10 years old. Now we do it in 700 horsepower cars. This is my childhood, guys. No trust fund baby. Definitely not a trust fund baby. Wish I was, but unfortunately not. Savannah, does this bring back memories for you as well?
Of course it does.
Remember, Savannah and I used to race back in that. She was like, don't look at her side, she was really fast. And it pissed me off that like my girl cousin was faster than me. So one day we're running, and she'd beat me like 100 times by now. One day we were running, and I just pushed her. I tripped her as she's running. I was like, she's like sprinting away. Fell down, like scabs all over her body, started bleeding all over the place. She was cool. She didn't rat me out because her mom started tripping. I'm like, oh, what happened? And she told her mom, oh, I tripped, I fell. She didn't say Mondi pushed me. So shout out to you, Savannah. I could have gotten a good spanking back in the day.
SUPERCARS.
SUPERCARS. So this is the back side of the restaurant, and my dad did have outdoor seating over here. Right next to it was a leather store. They used to sell leather jackets, leather pants, and all that stuff. And all the way back there was a Harley Davidson store. I think this is the only Harley Davidson store in Uppsala, right? Yeah, it's right there. Now there's a bunch of different businesses. I had a passion for bikes and cars since I was a little kid, and obviously this is why. And the owner and the workers over here were very nice to me. They would give me rides only so they could get free food from my dad. This brings it into perspective how short life is. Not a single business has remained. A bunch of different people. Cows are all gone. The horses are gone. Let's go inside the restaurant. Let me show you guys. So we used to have a bar over here, and there was a wall separating this place. That side was a banquet hall, and this was the restaurant. That was a bar back then. Really cool. No, not a bathroom. So different. Remember this, Simona? So 1994 World Cup. I watched it sitting right here. There's a bar still here. We'll put pictures up of the bar and how different this place was back then. So my dad started this place off as a restaurant, then he turned it into a banquet hall. And one room back there, he started at like a cards table, poker, blackjack, yeah, and a couple slots. This is like the casino in Sweden, not Sweden, but Uppsala. Oh, over here, This right here where I'm standing was built just for me. It was a, remember the candy store?
Yeah,
it was a candy and ice cream store. My dad had built it just for me, just so I could come spend a bunch of time with him. He wouldn't make any money off it because every time I would come, I would like steal, not steal, but have like 20 ice cream bars and a bunch of candy. And this was this right here, this tiny little thing. Put some pictures of that too. That was built just for me. You want to eat? Let's eat. Okay, not the dessert I used to have back in the days, but this looks just as good. So let's enjoy. Okay, done with dessert. Let's go wrap this up by doing some donuts in the parking lot. Unfortunately, we have some like really old ladies over there. I don't think they're gonna be too pleased with all the noise we're about to make, but who gives a shit? Savannah, you recording or you coming in the car? You're recording.
Okay, so I'm standing outside?
Yes.
Oh shit. He's crazy.
Yeah, right here is fine. Okay. Ta-da. How's that?
Amazing!
Hopefully we didn't piss off too many people. But guys, I'm just glad I didn't crash this time. We got the cows looking. Look, for all you people that were giving me shit about revving my car in front of cows, look at that. They care, they like it. They're coming close. I know, isn't she sexy? She's very sexy. They're so attracted to Papa Bull right now. They're like, oh, look at this one. Look at the way she's looking at it. She's like, I want to get with that bad bull tonight. Yeah, guys, yeah, I asked for permission, but those old ladies over there, you know, Swedish old ladies, they're a little cuckoo. Probably gonna call the cops right now. So this was freaking amazing. Look at these perfect donuts too. Ah, absolutely perfect. I have come a long way from crashing into that wall to being able to do perfect donuts. But guys, that is all for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed, and ciao.